The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. Alan Watts. This place is so different from France. It's overwhelming. Not just visually, but the intentions, the dreams, the attitude of the people to everything. What a strange but wonderful place America is. I have finally launched my company, Memorize. Not just a job, but my own company, which seems to be the key, the first part of the riddle. But will this unlock my dream, or will it end and I become a slave to somebody else's? Here's a place I can start to find out who I am, what I am worth, and the worth of my sense in. Browsing in a scruffy second-hand bookshop in Chinatown, I picked up a book by philosopher Alan Watts, opened it and read. The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it and join the dance. Which is what I fully intend to do. And it finally started to feel real. Researchers replace passwords with mind-reading past thoughts. This is an incredible innovation. It is the beginning of man and machine merging. The lines are already blurred. Hopefully my sensing can bring us even closer. Participants completed 7 different mental tasks with the device, including imagining their finger moving up and down and choosing a personalized secret. Simple actions like focusing on breathing or on a thought for 10 seconds resulted in successful authentication. When you're gone, all that's left behind are the memories you created in other people's lives. This is a quote from the movie My Blueberry Nights from 2007. You deliberately remember to forget. Aldous Huxley. Brain painting system is proof of concept for interacting with our computers by thought alone. It could be a supplement to trackpads, keyboards, touch panels, and other systems for interacting with computers. GTech already has software that can detect which items on a screen a user is paying attention to. If you're used to working at a computer screen that's full of different windows, imagine a system that brings whichever one of them you're looking at to the foreground. This is pretty basic stuff, little more than a gimmick. If we want computers to interact with us properly, then they need to understand our feelings, not just our habits. Understanding comes from data, and computers' big advantage is they can process as much data as we can feed them. In this sense, they are insatiable, as are we to discover if we can join with them in some future utopia. We are nothing more than patterns, and computers are nothing less than machines to analyze and predict patterns. A collision of some kind is inevitable. Memories establish the past, senses perceive the present, imaginations shape the future. Toba Bita. Molly shows me a whole other America, a bubbling undercurrent, a web of connected resistance to the mainstream, crisscrossing the country, East Coast, West Coast, Austin, Chicago, Detroit. And what is funny is that it exists in tandem with startup culture, the very reason I'm here. The frontier of a new capitalism, hand in hand with the counterculture. Lectures, music, protest, books, all of this heading somewhat recklessly in the same direction as Memorize. Strange that Occupy Wall Street is part of the same culture that will make me and many other grassroots capitalists very rich. The first memory will show the individual's fundamental view of life, his first satisfactory crystallization of his attitude. I would never investigate a personality without asking for the first memory. Alfred Adler. Man in coma uses his thoughts to tell doctors, "I'm not in pain." Back in 2010, neuroscientists confirmed that it was possible to communicate with some patients locked in a vegetative state by using a functional magnetic resonance imaging scanner. Though limited, the breakthrough suggested that more meaningful dialogue with patients in a coma could someday be possible. And now, 2 years later, it has finally happened. A Canadian man in a vegetative state has used his thoughts to tell scientists that he's not in any pain, marking the first time a patient in such a condition has relayed information relevant to their care. This proves that my funny-looking headsets are more than just a gimmick. This is real science that makes a real difference. This will become ammo for me against the naysayers. I just hope one day we will all wake up from our collective coma of short-sightedness. Molly has been great and introduced me to all her friends. It's still a novel feeling being a central piece of the social puzzle. But they all seem happy to wear my silly-looking headset and answer all my questions. I knew nobody when I arrived here, and now I feel I fit in. People understand what I'm about, because in some way it's what they want to do too. To live without borders, to talk without walls. Isn't this what we all want? In many ways we are so different, but she totally understands my obsession with data and data flow. There would be no Sensen without her. I'd just be a clever guy without a clue. Her sense of design will also help this clumsy headset look cool and more with it. It will be a device that can live in the world without being laughed at. The past scampers like an alley cat through the present, leaving the paw prints of memories scattered helter-skelter. Charles Delin. Samsung demos a tablet controlled by your brain. This is great because it's practical. It truly empowers. Imagine all the disabled people who will find a voice and catch up with us. All the fucked up kids, all that potential unlocked, all adding to our collective endeavors. Now I'm sounding like Molly. But this type of research is what makes me want to get out of bed. Also, I feel the distance between humanity and computers is even greater. The brain is and always has been the key.